So let's dive into mkultra, a covert, secretive CIA program that dabbled in some wild mind control experiments back in the early 50s. It was all fueled by Cold War paranoia and fears that communist regimes had cracked the code on brainwashing and interrogation.
Right, and I think it was officially sanctioned kind of under pressure from major geopolitical concerns, yeah?
Exactly. The program actually got the green light in 1953 under CIA Director Allen Dulles. It was basically a response to reports and, even rumors about advanced Soviet and Chinese techniques for controlling minds.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what really blows my mind is how wide-ranging the operation was. I mean, how many institutions got tangled up in this?
Oh, it's like they partnered with over 150 subcontractors, universities, hospitals, research institutions, even private companies, often without anyone really knowing what was actually going on. Think prestigious names like Stanford and Harvard, tangled in secret experiments.
Seriously? That level of secrecy and ethical bypass seems almost unbelievable. Do you think these institutions had any inkling of what was happening?
Probably not, right? They were often duped by front organizations like the Society for the Investigation of Human Ecology. It was, a cover for really questionable experiments.
I see. And the funding? Wasn't it a significant chunk of the CIA's operating budget at the time?
Yep, they set aside about 6% of the CIA's operating funds, roughly $10 million a year in today's dollars. It shows just how high the stakes were perceived to be.
Right. Let's talk methods for a minute. I know this program used drugs like LSD and other substances. How extreme was that?
Very extreme. They tested hundreds of drugs, with LSD taking center stage. And they weren't just stopping at drugs. They also employed psychological manipulation and sensory deprivation.
Indeed, But here's something that puzzles me. With all these drastic measures, how successful was all of this? Were they ever close to actually controlling minds?
That's a great question. Many of these experiments were, respectfully, not only highly unethical, but also of dubious effectiveness. The actual outcomes are murky, especially since records were so often destroyed or deliberately obscured.
I get that. But isn't it a bit of an overreach to assume that these radical methods could work in any lasting way? It sounds like more of a desperate gamble in the name of national security.
You're right to challenge that. The idea of achieving reliable mind control through such erratic experiments is pretty far-fetched. Yet the paranoia of the time, with fear of forced confessions and enemy brainwashing, drove them to try anything.
Definitely. In the end, it seems like mkultra was less about genuine breakthroughs in controlling the human mind and more about creating an illusion, or maybe a desperate attempt, at staying ahead during a tense era.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder of how fear and uncertainty can warp priorities. From unconsented drug trials to questionable partnerships, mkultra embodies a dark chapter in covert government operations.
Yeah, it really does. It's pretty mesmerizing, albeit disturbing, to see how history can veer into such extremes when driven by fear.
Absolutely. And examining mkultra gives us insight into the challenges of balancing national security with ethical boundaries, a debate that, believe it or not, still resonates today.
Right on.